June is a far better person than any of us.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to be an emotional and sad scene.
I think June will be feeling a tossed salad of emotions.
That she will be upset and mad.
She'll be heartbroken, she'll miss him.
So devastated and heartbroken.
I think she's going to be devastated. She's going to break down and cry.
Pretty devastated about everything.
I believe this may have been her biggest fear, and she'll be devastated.
June will be very upset about John leaving.
June will be upset.
She'll be pretty upset.
And let's be honest, she'll probably understand.
But at the same time, I think that she will understand where he's coming from.
But in the end, she's going to be able to understand John and where he's coming from.
Rabbi will give her the note John wrote for her, and she'll understand.
That she will understand because he kept saying that he wanted to get away.
I'm pretty sure she understands that he didn't leave her.
I think she'll understand that he needed to remove himself from the situation.
Because she knows what it's like to feel like you have to run.
June is a person that, like no other, knows the feeling of not having a choice but to run.
Virginia can't be trusted, even though she said she will give June a hospital.
She'll throw herself into this hospital project for now.
But bury herself in hospital work.
June is dedicated to building this hospital and helping people.
She'll be thinking about ways that she might be able to join John at his cabin or get him back.
But, she did the same thing to him, and so maybe she'll go after him this time.
John will find his way back to her just like he did in season 4.
Even though he's gone, she always knows where he is. So there's always a chance.
And that may be the last time that they ever see each other again.
I am not emotionally prepared to answer that question.
Fuck John.
Well, provided I don't need someone interesting on the road.
Dwight single.
Dwight single? Another side.
I don't like Virginia. You don't like Virginia.
I think it might have made things a lot easier if she did.
Man, in the moment, I'd like to say no.
Nobody likes Virginia.
You wanted her to die.
I feel like June did do the right thing.
I think June did the right thing.
I do think that June made the right decision.
I do think June ultimately did the right thing in sparing Virginia.
June absolutely did the right thing in letting Ginny live. Would I have done it? Not a chance.
But morally, for this character, I think she made the right choice.
I think for her peace of mind, her heart.
Good for her soul, might I add.
Because of, one, who she is and how she works, but also because she's a nurse.
She wants to help everybody, heal everybody. She's a nurse, so...
As a nurse, you have this obligation to help people no matter who they are or where they're from.
I don't think she would have killed her or let her die. It's just in her nature to help.
Hospital out of this, and she's going to get to help people. She's not going to be on the run, which she doesn't want to do anymore.
She saves people, that's what she does.
To be the good person that we all know June is.
June saw an opportunity to maneuver Virginia to her vision of a hospital and thereby being able to help more people.
June should have killed her.
I agree with Zachary. June should have killed her.
I think that she wouldn't have been able to live with herself if she had let Virginia die.
Also from a storytelling perspective, I think there are so many more layers and stories inside Virginia's character that are still to be discovered.
We've been saying for a while now that Ginny's no dummy. Don't underestimate her, and I think we're about to see why.
You want to know what she's hiding.
Ginny may prove to be an asset against this death cult.
The threat of the end is at the beginning death cult.
We've been kind of hinting at since the beginning of the season.
How big that threat is to ending all attempts at all life is precious kind of community.
When I say we, I mean Squawking Dead.
If you think about it, the whole purpose is to protect everyone else as well.
I feel like if she had killed Virginia, she would have set off a series of events that would have just been pretty devastating for everybody and would have just made the situation worse.
Bye, Felicia. So many great lines, so hard to choose.
I can't pick just one, honestly.
Virginia when she was talking to that lady in the beginning, and she said the bullfrog had its stomach hanging out of its mouth, and it looked like it was Heimlich with a sledgehammer. That was funny.
Mo Collins is Sarah Rabinowitz.
Pretty much everything that Mo said. Everything out of Mo's face was my favorite line.
Sarah was offered some alcohol to Walter as they're preparing the surgery, and he's like, "Oh, that's terrible." And then she's like, "I'm working on it."
Sarah says, can't say the same for Captain Hook.
As long as it gets us to the same place at the end. Such an important line. It means so much in terms of what we're probably about to see from this season.
My favorite line was when June came back at Virginia with her own words.
Some dogs, you just gotta know when to put out to pasture.
Some dogs, you just gotta know when to put out to pasture.
You have to know when to put a dog out to pasture.
Some dogs, you gotta know when to put out to pasture.
Some dogs, you just gotta know when to put out of pasture. That was a good line.
It was great that June used that line on Ginny.
And I mean the way that June has just said it to Virginia as a payback, it was brilliant.
I love badass June.
Boom!
It's when June says, what I want is to wake up and have my husband back. It's really sad, but it's a really good line.
When Wendell rolled down the window and said,
Wendell pulled up in the van, and he's like, "Hey, y'all, got some room in that thing for me?"
"Hey, y'all got room in that thing for me?" That was awesome.
I missed Wendell, and that hug between him and Sarah, oh my gosh.
The reunion, Sarah and Wendell, brother and sister. Back to brewing again. Back to beer, The Walking Dead. Well, our old nickname for Virginia was Jessie from Toy Story. Our new nickname is Handy McFreckles.
Nickname for Virginia? Oh, I'm stumped.
As soon as June hacked her hand off, I'm like, "Hey, Stumpy!" Stumpy. And I bet she'd hate that a lot. Okay.
How about Andy Lincoln?
This is so cheesy, but probably underhanded Virginia.
You know, at first I thought about Chubbs. I was thinking right to Happy Gilmore.
Ginny Lannister. You know what they say about a Lannister. They always pay their debts.
The nickname Captain Hook was perfect. Sarah always has the funniest lines. The other thing I thought of was not so much a name as it is a description. In Dutch we have a word, onthand, which literally translated I guess would mean something like de-handed. And the meaning of it is close to inconvenienced, or when you can't do something that you normally do because of a change in circumstance that causes you to lack something that you might need.
Call her cowboy friendly, a nod to the comics, to Rick Grimes when he had his hand cut off by the governor. And we know how Merle used to call him officer friendly, but what if we called her cowboy friendly?
Well, for Virginia, my nickname would have definitely been Furiosa. I mean, if you remember Furiosa from Mad Max, she was actually awesome.
My nickname for Ginny? One-handed waffle.
She is funny. I like her accent and everything. She's kind of like Yosemite Sam and the Designing Women Had a Baby.
We just want to say what an amazing episode this week's episode was. And how amazing are Jenna Elfman, Kobe Menifee, Garrett Dillahunt, Denai Garcia, Mo Collins, Colby Holman, and Daryl Chill Mitchell. You guys killed it. Knocked it out of the ballpark. Great episode. Amazing season. Thank you.